Oh, hello, slimy fertlers. It's a rainy, horrible afternoon. It's afternoon now. It's not morning. It's afternoon, but it's a rainy, horrible day. Typical British winter. We haven't had any snow yet, unfortunately. But yeah, just today, I'm just going to discuss what the crack is with this whole COPPA thing. What I'm going to be doing to try and protect myself as much as possible from having some twat turn up at my door with a bill for a large amount of money that I will never be able to afford. If you've been watching YouTube at all over the past couple of weeks, you'll have seen that basically on the 12th of November they decided, YouTube put up an announcement about some major changes that are coming into effect from the 1st of January next year. That's 1st of January 2020, the future. Basically what's happened is they, since they started, YouTube should have been subject to a law called COPPA, which stands for, Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. This was a law that was first brought in the US, I might add, in the US. This was a law that was first brought in, I think it was about 1998, and COPPA is the reason why whenever you sign up to social networks, stuff like that, there's always a question of are you over the age of 13 or not, and you have to tick a little box to say whether you're over the age of 13 or not. Also it may ask you for your date of birth, stuff like that. And at the time it was drafted, that was thought to be sufficient, because the idea was to prevent children, basically under US law. The definition of a child is anyone under the age of 13. The idea was to protect children from having their personal information out there for people to use for nefarious purposes. Well, the two sorts of people they were trying to stop them was paedophiles and people looking to try and defraud children in some fashion. Not so much the defraud part, more the paedophile part, but it can still happen. Children can still be made to pay money that they shouldn't be doing. And this was seen as fine, and in 2013 there was an amendment made to the COPPA law to basically include things like gathering data via cookies and stuff like that. The idea was that, again, to stop cookie farming, for kind of targeted advertisements and stuff like that, because you're not allowed to, you're supposedly not allowed to collect data on things data on children in order to directly target them with stuff you think that they should be seeing. And what happened was that YouTube have basically spent the past 15 years saying, oh no, we don't collect information on children, no, we'd never do that, nah, God bless you, nah. And they've just been lying through the teeth, basically. Considering the fact that there's a lot of content that is directly aimed at children on YouTube, put on there by large media companies, stuff like that. YouTube actually collect data via cookies, and they actively sell advertising blocks to advertisers in order to target people. If you're, let's say you're a 10-year-old male, they might target you with adverts for football, boys' toys, even though it's not very PC to say that anymore. But yeah, boys' toys, your Action Mans, your action figures kind of things, your cars, your stuff like that. If you're a girl, you'd be targeted, adverts for, like, I don't know, fucking Barbie or something. I don't know. But yeah, they've been doing that, and somebody put a complaint into the Federal Trade Commission, and the Federal Trade Commission had a look at it and went, that's what you've been doing, and they got fined. Was it $170 million? And so what have YouTube done? Well, in order to stop themselves from getting a fine again, what they decided to do is throw their entire creator base under the bus. And the result of that is that from 1st of January 2020, your channel either has to be labelled as being for children or not for children. If your channel is labelled for children, basically it means you lose any kind of audience interaction. So that means your comments and community page are gone. You will also lose the ability to live stream on your channel, I believe, from what the thing is, because that's direct audience interaction, which you can use to promote products to the kiddie winkies, and your channel will be demonetized. Now, demonetization doesn't affect me in the slightest. My channel isn't monetized. It hasn't been for a long time. I demonetized it myself because, quite frankly, when my channel was monetized, my videos were getting demonetized, so they were still running adverts on my channel, but I was getting fuck all from it. So I'm just like, why the fuck should you make money off my back and not give me anything for it? No. So yeah. If you mark your channel, also if you mark your channel as being for kids, you will no longer have any of your videos appear in search results or recommendeds. So the only real way that you can promote your channel is to pass out the link. This has caused a lot of bother for a lot of people, because obviously the notifications, stuff like that, because you also lose your notifications because that's classed as audience interaction. Notifications, stuff like that, they're gone. So you have to basically 100%, you have to put 100% into the promotion of your channel. YouTube are handling the situation very badly, rather than admitting that what they've done and feverishly working on a way to make sure that stuff like this doesn't happen again. They're just going, yeah, sod it. And their advice is, if you think this is going to if you think this is going to affect you, or if you don't know what you're doing, consult a lawyer. And that's their entire advice on it. The weird thing is that over the past couple of weeks, quite a few lawyers who are quite intimate with the whole kind of communications legal situation, social media and communications legal situation with regards to US law, have come forward and done videos basically saying that although they've sat and read the document, the actual legal documentation for COPPA and some of the other associated things with it, such as legal content guidelines, they're still none the wiser. These are actual professional lawyers, not just some random guy like me on the internet saying, well, this is my interpretation of it. This is their legal interpretation of it. They can't really make head nor tail of what would be classed as being affected by it. They can't really give out any kind of rock solid advice on how to avoid it, because if you fall foul of the COPPA law, the Federal Trade Commission will send you a bill for $42,000 for each video on your channel that they deem to be for kids but not for kids. So yeah, a lot of people have basically the entire kind of YouTube creator base has collectively shit itself, because this doesn't only affect kind of toy review channels, toy review or toy customization or whatever channels. It also affects channels that talk about things such as video games, because kiddies like video games, anime, because kiddies like anime, comics, manga, cartoons, stuff like that. I mean, there was one video I sat and watched where a guy who had a Lego channel was basically like, well, Lego is, stuff like he was discussing like the Stranger Things Lego set, which he's reviewed on his channel, and it's like, well, it might be Lego, but Stranger Things isn't for children, kind of thing. So it's like a legal grey area. The thing is, if you mark your channel as not for kids, and it is deemed to be for kids, then you are again going to be whacked with a fine. Well, you are going to be whacked with a fine for each video that they deem as being not for kids, but would be attractive to children. And it's it's when you listen to the lawyers that have sat and looked at the documentation, the guidelines of stuff that would fall foul of COPPA law. Literally, you can apply the attractive to children moniker to anything. Literally anything. For example, somebody might do a channel about politics and stuff like that, and they might do a video discussing, Greta Thunberg or something, and a particularly kind of interested 8-year-old may come along and go and have a look on YouTube and think, oh, I want to learn more about Greta Thunberg, and they type thing and they come to a video of somebody not talking about her in a very good light, kind of thing. That's not really for children. the content itself is not really for children. You can obviously do a video talking about Greta Thunberg, not talking about her in a very good light without swearing in it, but it's still not really a subject that is supposed to be of interest to children, considering all the other stuff that you have to put in there as well for context, which children may not understand, may upset them in some cases. And so the idea, the thing can literally apply to anything. So with that in mind, I've sat and had a good long think about what I'm going to do with this channel. At first I was just going to basically nuke the entire channel and say, sod it, I'm not doing this anymore. But it's like, yeah, alright, so even though I don't make a lot of videos, I actually do enjoy making videos occasionally. The stuff I've done most recently has been the kind of custom, Hot Wheels Matchbox car things, stuff talking about Gaslands, little bits and bobs still talking about, social and political commentary. Don't really do toy reviews that much anymore. It's once in a blue moon I do toy reviews. And right from the beginning, when I started my channel way back in, I think it was like 2009, so I've been at this for 10 years, I never intended to make this channel for children. Never intended the channel to be family friendly, even though a lot of the stuff I do look at, we're talking about, like I say, films, cartoons, whatever, is, could be considered as family friendly topics, but discussed in an adult manner, which means that basically this channel is not for the purpose of entertaining your children. I never set out to entertain your kids. That's your job. As parents, that's your job. As parents as well, it's also your job to ensure that your children aren't watching things that they shouldn't be watching. So that's when I hit upon the idea. As what happens at cinemas, you can't take little 6-year-old Billy in to see, a violent, a violent or adult-natured film. We have in this country anyway, and that's something else I'll come on to in a minute about being in this country. In this country, when you go to the cinema, we have age classifications. Cool beans. So from now on, every video I do will start with an age classification screen comes up. And because this channel is not meant for children, I'm going with the lowest classification we have in this country of 15. This means that basically anyone under the age of 15 should not be watching my videos, and I personally accept no responsibility whatsoever if a child under the age of 15 watches one of my videos. There will also be an 18 certificate one, which I will put on every single video I do, talking primarily about politics and social commentary. Maybe occasionally I'll stick an 18 certificate on videos where I'm like looking at video games or doing toys or whatever, and I decide to use a lot of spicy words in it, because sometimes I do. I can't help it. I sometimes just go off on one and don't even realise I'm doing it. So basically anyone under the age of 15 who watches my channel, at this point I would like to say thank you for watching my channel. I hope I haven't warped your brains too much. You might have learnt some new words from me and stuff like that, but at this point, as of the publishing of this video, I'm sorry, but you can't watch my channel anymore. I accept no responsibility. If your parents say it's okay to watch the channel, that's down to them. If your parents allow you to watch it, that's down to them. But they have to realise that the COPPA law basically means that they have to give written permission for any data on you to be collected. I am not responsible for collecting data, because I don't work for YouTube. I don't aim my videos at people under the age of 15. I'm not collecting any data on you. I am not responsible for any data that's collected, or the way that YouTube decides to use that data. That's purely down to the parents. Basically, once you get to 18, you're an adult and you can do whatever the hell you want. You're an adult now. You can do whatever the hell you want. But basically, if you are under the age of 15, I have no way of stopping that data from being collected. I have no way of knowing what YouTube's going to do with that data. That's down to YouTube. Go talk to YouTube about that. Speaking of collection of data, etc., etc., COPPA and YouTube. Well, COPPA is an American law, or United States of America law. YouTube is a company which is based in the United States of America, so they are subject to US law. I'm not. I am a citizen of Great Britain. I was born here and hope to die here, he says, and I am subject to British law, not, well, British UK law. I am not subject to American law. So, therefore, I shouldn't really have to be worrying about this at all. You know, they say, oh yeah, but you publish your things on an American platform. Well, that's fine. It's up to them to filter the stuff that comes through, and it will be very, very difficult for the US government to prosecute people who don't live in the US. As the press conference, the FTC guy gave a press conference which he very badly attempted to explain and clarify what was going off with regards to the COPPA law. He basically described YouTube as being the barrel and the content creator base as being the fish. In a rose-tinted world where smug little bastards like that think that they can just get away with demanding money from people willy-nilly, that will be the case. Unfortunately, like I say, I am not subject to US law. I am not a US citizen, and you know, if they want to do anything, that's great, but realistically they'd have to get permission from the Home Office to do whatever it is they want to do at me, and the God knows how many thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of content creators that are based in Britain alone. I've watched quite a lot of different people from different genres. You know, I've watched the kind of toy car resto people. I've watched toy reviewers. I've watched video game reviewers or people that do let's plays discuss the matter of COPPA. And to name drop a few, we've got like people like Sideways King 75, Matchbox Garage based in the UK, Nick's Toy Garage based in Belgium, we've got Danny's Diecast Disasters based in New Zealand, Marty's Matchbox Makeovers based in Australia, Diecast Resurrection based in Canada, you know, all people like that. None of these people are US citizens, as far as I'm aware. You know, because I know people from the US may go and live in Canada and still be classed as US citizens. You know, have dual citizenship or whatever. I don't know how that works there. But yeah, it basically, if you're not a US citizen, you're not really subject to their laws. You know, it's if I set foot in America, yes, I would be subject to their laws because, you know, when in Rome and all that. But I'm not in the US. I'm in good old Blighty, merry old England, and I'm not really subject to anything that the Federal Trade Commission wants to say, or what's the other one, Federal Communications Commission, FCC, which is the people that tell you what you can and can't see on telly and in films in America. The weird thing about this is that YouTube has been hit with this, but there are other kind of streaming platforms based in the US, such as, I don't know, Amazon, Netflix, things like that have managed to put things in place so that they're not they're not going to end up getting a whack on the knuckles from the FTC, because they're actually responsible and they're not trying to just gather as much data as possible to sell it on kind of thing, or sell advertising. They're actually quite responsible. So why the FTC is not holding YouTube to the same level, the same standard as what they would demand from people like Amazon, the streaming services that are based in the US, I really don't know. It's basically when Amazon or whatever wants to stream here, the stuff that they stream here is largely uncensored, although it's still subject to kind of British censorship laws, stuff like that. Like, for example, like no hardcore porn and stuff like that. If you want hardcore porn, there's plenty of streaming websites that deal with that. They're not particularly interested in that. They just want to show shows, be it kids shows, family shows, or adult orientated shows, with the violence and the swearing, and maybe you might get to see some boobies and stuff like that in. I was quite hoping that this thing would finally make them decide what they were going to be, whether they were going to be a platform, because this is the thing that they like to say that they're a platform and that they allow everybody to upload whatever they want and stuff like that, and but they don't. They act more like a publisher. They don't. You know, there are certain guidelines that you have to follow. Like, for example, YouTube says no pornography, which is fair enough. You know, YouTube is meant to be for everybody. You know, it's meant to be kind of a family-friendly type of place. But as with every family-friendly streaming service or TV channel or whatever, there are some things on there that are for the grown-ups. You know, for kiddies go to bed. The grown-ups can sit and watch somebody stab someone to death or something. I don't know. And you know, they have guidelines, but then they act more like a publisher. They've acted a lot more like a publisher. They decide, you know, via people's P scores, as they call them, which are now hidden. So there was a trick that you could use to find out what your P score was to see how well YouTube would promote your channel and your uploads or whatever. You can't see that now, but based on your P scores, that's how much, you know, YouTube decided your channel was worth, and they've hidden that, so you can't see that anymore. And you know, they like to censor things. So, you know, if you go on there and you talk about certain politicians or incidents, you know, things like that, and incidents of a political or, you know, cultural nature, they don't like that, and they will, you know, take your videos down. Like I said, the whole demonetization thing doesn't really affect me. It does affect somebody. I don't do videos on YouTube for the money. I've certainly never made a single penny off the back of YouTube, and I don't really intend to. I mean, it's at the end of the video, you know, I'll put a thing, you know, if you want to donate to me, if you like my work or whatever, and you want to donate to me, then here's my PayPal. You know, feel free to send a couple of quid my way if you want to do that. If you don't, then fine, I don't mind. You know, I'll just make videos for people to watch. I'm not expecting people to start digging open their wallets for me. And a lot of the people's money now seems to be coming through via ways of things like Patreon, Subscribestar, or getting donations through when they do live streams. Yeah, so the future of this channel will be, like I say, I will carry on making videos as and when I want to, and I will continue making them in the manner I see fit. All videos, though, like I say, the videos will be rated either, you know, 15 or 18, depending on the content. And if you're under the ages of that, when that pops up, I expect you to not continue watching past that point. If you do so, you're doing that because you've taken the decision to do that. You've taken the decision basically to watch content that you're not supposed to be watching. If you are a child, or if you are someone under the age of 15, like I say, it's legally, people aged under 13 are considered to be children, but there's a difference between, you know, 13 and 15-year-olds. You're starting to mature more at the age of 15, although, you know, that's debatable, but, you know, you are becoming more worldly at the age of 15 than what you are at 13, so that's why I've set it at 15. I don't particularly see much of my content as being of interest to, well, of being suitable for people under that age. So yeah, it's like I said earlier, you know, if you are under the age of 15 and you watch my videos, I'm very, very sorry, but YouTube and the US government have forced my hand on this. I don't expect you to watch that. It's your parents' responsibility to ensure that you're watching stuff that they think is suitable for you, not mine. I'm not your babysitter, I'm not your nanny, I'm not your parent, I'm not a guardian. I'm just a, you know, fat guy with a beard that makes videos on YouTube swearing and complaining a lot. As for my older videos, the stuff, I'm not going to go through my, you know, takedown videos and then re-upload them with the new things attached. So a lot of my old videos are, well, pretty much all of my videos from the past 10 years are going to be mute. I'm not going to private them. I could private them if I wanted, but that's not the point. The point is I need to make sure that all my videos are having the age restriction certificate thing put on there. The old videos anyway, they're even more poor quality than this, and talking about things and stuff that's not really relevant anymore. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to start, once I've uploaded this video, I'm going to then start you know, hopefully before the 1st of January 2020, I will have removed all the videos that I have from the few that I've made sort of in the past couple of months. I'm going to keep those up and do a channel message, you know, just basically saying this channel is meant for people over the age of whatever, blah blah blah. This is the stuff I'll be discussing. If you're under the age whatever, you know, go away. Yeah, that's what I'm going. So yeah, videos will be disappearing off my channel. Well, videos and the few live streams I've done will be disappearing off this channel, and you know, hopefully I'll be able to start uploading more videos again, in the kind of new format with the certificate. And well, I said new format, it's not really going to change. It's either going to be me sat here talking, or it's going to be you know, like voiceovers on top of the peakers and stuff like that when I do the kind of social commentary, which is something else that's thingy in there, because I use cartoon avatars of Pikachus and stuff as a form of satire, which I am legally allowed to do. I have Pikachus discussing adult topics and using swear words and stuff like that. That is basically a work of satire and social commentary. If you say, oh yeah, well, you know, because using Pikachu that's attractive to kids, the certificate at the beginning of the video will say otherwise. So yeah, let's see how it goes from there. Thank you for listening, and anybody else that's affected by this issue, just have a really good think about what you're going to do before you do it. You've got till the beginning of January, so you've got another month and a half basically. I mean, it's what is it, like 5 or 6 weeks to Christmas or whatever, you know, so you've got a good time to decide what it is that you're going to do with your channels, if you're going to bother carrying on, if you're going to nuke your channel or whatever. It would be great if people just didn't give up, but I know some people will, because for some people it's not worth the hassle. It's not worth having to second guess yourself all the time and stuff like that. I will see how it goes. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.